and welcome to Rosy Crafted Colours. Today I'm bringing you something a little bit different. Now this is Scrawlr box, and what Scrawlr box is a art subscription box that you get monthly. Me and my daughter have subscribed to this for the last 3 years, and I thought what would be quite fun would be to maybe try using it as a colourist. Usually me and my daughter just make, single artworks, which we're still going to do, but I'd like to see what I could do as a colourist. So the box has been opened. Everything comes wrapped in tissue paper. That is gone because me and my daughter opened it to have a look what was inside. There were sweets. There are no longer sweets. So here we go. And this is what you'll get in your Scrawlr box. Now, it may not look a lot, but the value is usually, it's more than what the box cost. It's £15 UK pounds, and these materials usually cost more. Now I've had some things that look really amazing, like full paint palettes before, so this might not look a lot, but it is. It definitely costs, it's cost effective. So here we have, this always comes with a Scrawlr box. It tells you about your things you're getting, your supplies you're getting, tells you a little bit about them. This is the January box, and it gives you a Scrawlr challenge. So for doing art, their challenge this month would be paisley patterns. Now for my colouring books, I'm not going to use that challenge. I'm just going to see what I can do with the supplies. Next, you get a piece of art that is made by a featured artist. So we have this paisley artwork, which has been created with the materials we have in the box. The artist is Chris Lambert, and you can find him at Doodle Crease on Instagram and Twitter if you want to have a little look more at his work. Next, you get the Scrawlr zine, which is quite new. They started doing these a few months ago, I believe. And inside there'll be information on what's inside the box. See, we had sweeties, but they're gone. More information about the artist, like an interview, some tips on how to use the materials we have. Then we have a Scrawlr gallery every month, and this Scrawlr gallery is from November, so it's not from the previous month, it's the month before. And if you share your Scrawlr art with the hashtag Scrawlr challenge on Instagram, you may be lucky and have your art featured in their zine. There's a little bit more information here about different things, and that is the magazine. Now onto the art materials themselves. And this month you always get some paper with Scrawlr box so that you can make some art, or you get a little palette, or you get a little sketchbook. And this month we've been given this sketchbook, and this is bleed proof paper because we have markers, and it's a very good quality smooth paper. This sketchbook I'm going to give to my daughter to play around in because apparently it's good for comics and she likes to make comics. Our first material is a Zig Millennium fine liner pen. It's pigment ink, so it'll be permanent once it's dry, and it's 3mm. Then we have a limited edition Blackwing Scrawlr box pencils. I love Blackwing pencils, they're really great pencils. I really like how they have an eraser here, which as it gets shorter you can make the eraser a little bit bigger. I sharpened this. It wasn't sharpened when it came. I sharpened it ready, so you wouldn't have to listen to me sharpening. So now we have the Tombow ABT Pro pen, brush pen, alcohol pens, and it has a brush tip on one end and a chisel tip on the other end. And we have PN75. I've never seen these pens before. P312 and P528. So what I'm going to do is get this out the way, the bits I don't need. I don't want these bits with me, I just want the art supplies. So I'm going to do a little swatch on this piece of paper here I have. So I don't need to swatch the pencil really, but I'll just see how hard the pencil is. It's quite a nice pencil. It said on the information that it worked like a 2B pencil, so that's good. And this is a 3mm Zig Millennium pencil. It's quite a fine tip. And now to our alcohol markers. So I'll use the chisel tip first. Yep, that's a nice grey, isn't it? Lovely. This paper is cartridge paper, so probably not great for markers really, probably better for paint and things, but this is what I decided to use to do my use. Oh, I love that green. These colours are probably going to show up a little different on the paper I'm going to use, but we'll see. Oh, and a very deep blue. So yeah, I love those colours, aren't they nice? I love those colours very much. So yeah, and what I've decided is this is one of my books that I want to finish, and I also want to get some colour on it this year. So let's choose a picture from in here, a book I've been so terrified about colouring in. Let's just do it. Let's get a page and do some colour on it. What should we choose? I like her. I don't really like her with the colours I have though, so with the colours I have, I really want to find something that sort of works. It's great, this book, because it's fantasy, so I think it's really going to be a great choice for these pens. Oh, isn't she gorgeous? I just love this book. Every time I look at it, I swoon over it a little bit more because it is beautiful, isn't it? Maybe her. I think a more simpler picture would be... Oh, I really love that one. Is that one too complicated, do you think? I don't know. This is a very simple one. This could probably be a better choice. I don't want the simple ones though. I want to go for the crazy ones. It's the first picture I'm colouring in here. So, oh, she's good, isn't she? She's beautiful. I don't have a whole range of colours, so I don't want to go too crazy. Kind of liking this one. I'm not sure how I'd colour the crystals with alcohol markers, so I'm not hugely skilled with alcohol markers as yet because I don't really use them. I think I might go for this one. Is this one going to be a good decision? Well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? Or should I do hair? If only you could tell me. If only you could shout at me and say, just do the what one, do that one. This one or this one? I'm so indecisive, aren't I? Must be so annoying to say. I'm going to do this one. I don't know if it's a good idea because she does look quite complicated and I only have 3 colours and a black pencil. So I'm going to put some paper in between for bleed. I haven't used this book so the spine hasn't quite flattened. Right, so my thoughts are grey skin. Use the pencil to add a little bit of shade and blue hair maybe. Yeah, I think so. Let's just see. If I ruin it, I ruin it. It's only a page in a book, isn't it? So, or do I shade her face all in with pencil? That could look quite cool, couldn't it? And then her hair is in colour. And yeah, I'm thinking I like the idea of shading her face in with pencil. Seeing what I come up with. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So what shall I colour? Am I going to colour anything? I want to use every supply I have because that is really part of the challenge, isn't it? So what should I colour grey? Right, I want to colour her hair blue. So let's go for it. Ugh, I'm so nervous about putting colour on this book. And I'm actually doing it. Isn't that a lovely colour? I love that. And I should be able to layer this up a little bit to get some shade because it's an alcohol marker. Oh, I love that shade. Isn't it beautiful? I think she's going to look gorgeous with all this teal sort of navy-ish hair. I'm glad I chose that colour for her hair. I really am. So yeah, I really love the Scrawlr box. We always have fun creating art together, and you know, I save all of our artworks. We have a huge collection of artworks we've done over the years. We're quite an artistic sort of family, really. And I just adore making art with my daughter. It's just such a lovely thing to do, to sit and create. Oh, I love that colour. I love that colour. I really want to finish this book, and I've put so many barriers up about colouring it, and because it's such a beautiful book, and you know, they're not cheap, these books. They're not cheap at all, these. But when you buy a book from Etsy, it's never cheap, and it gets a little bit scary sometimes to add the colour, but why have it if you're not going to colour in it? I don't have to do perfect pictures every time. And as I've said before, I'm not a marker girl, so this is a bit of a new thingy for me. But wow, it's so fast. I coloured this. Would have took me ages to colour that one plait in my pencils. She's looking gorgeous, isn't she? So yeah, I think I'm gonna pencil shade her skin, maybe. I think these are meant to be like odd strands of hair, so I think I'm gonna leave them loose. Yeah, I'm going to leave them like it's just a strand of hair coming out of her plait. Why don't I use alcohol markers all the time? So easy, aren't they? Well, not easy, but this is faster. Sorry about that. The police are just going past my house. What I mean is I'm laying down colour so quickly. These are really juicy alcohol markers. They're very nice. I don't have many alcohol markers, but I do have 2 Copics that I got from a Scrawlr box actually. And these feel juicier. Oh, I made a little mistake. Let's pretend that didn't happen. What I'll do is I'll do this, and then I'll use my micron pen to draw lines as if it was always there. Well, I'll cheat. I'll cheat. It'll look, honestly, it'll look the same, promise. It's like it was always meant to be there. She is so beautiful though. I love Mystic Art Mirror's style. It's so gorgeous. This was my first book I bought of hers too. I now have, I believe it's the Fairytopia book I have. It's gorgeous. And she's just bought the In the Wild, is it called In the Wild? Something like that. And that book, oh, I'm like trying to stop myself from buying it because I could easily buy it. But recently I've noticed since I mean, I don't want to talk politics, but since we've left the EU, I've noticed that tax has gone up really high on Etsy, and the delivery has gone up quite high. And do you know, it is slightly off-putting sometimes when the delivery costs as much as the book, or sometimes more than the book. So yeah. There's another artist I really like who does I mean, Mr. Art Mirrors does PDFs. If you want a PDF of her books, she does do those too. But I don't tend to use PDFs very much, even though I do own them. But there is an artist I like, I believe her name's Annie Colouring, and she has done some beautiful art. It's quite similar. It's not the same, but if you like this, I think you'd like Annie Colouring. I don't know what her actual name is, but on Instagram she's Annie Colouring. But her artwork is very similar, you know, beautiful girls, but a little bit quirky, a little bit of a difference. I like this colour a lot. I can't believe how quick it is. I mean, I should know how quick it is because it's a marker. It's not going to be like the slowest thing in the world. I do love it when you see people that, you know, are so talented at alcohol markers and they can do all sorts of shading, and it does look so pretty, doesn't it? It looks so flat and beautiful, like very sort of graphic and gorgeous. Do you know, the kind of thing that takes ages to achieve with a pencil, I think is achieved once you're very skilled, obviously, at with your markers, but it's achieved much easier, you know, that flatness of colour. It's beautiful. I wonder if that is actually bleeding through. Let's check. Yeah, but it's not bleeding through onto this paper because this paper is quite good quality. It's quite thick. That's why I've chose this book for this, because if I get some paints or something one month, I can, what's it called? I can use it on this paper because this paper is able to take water medium. So what do we think? Do we like her? I've lost one of my pens. I'll have to go and get it when I need it. The green one, it's rolled off the table. What do we think of this teal hair? I'm loving it. So I think this is going to end up being quite a simple picture because I don't have a huge collection of pens to use. But you know, this is quite relaxing to actually colour a picture, and I'm not shading it for 10 hours because I'm quite slow at my colouring really. So pictures can take me a very long time, but this is quite sort of freeing and relaxing. Maybe I should, you know, now and again add a marker picture to my colouring stash of things I'm going to colour. I can't actually believe I decided to colour in this book with markers because I've built this book up in so many ways to myself that everything in it had to be perfect. And, you know, there's no such thing as perfect. So I don't know why I was doing that. But I built the book up and it was so intimidating because I loved it so much and I've owned it for so long that it became like there was a barrier for me to colour in here. So, yeah, it's looking really nice though. I really like it. I hope you can see me colouring. I'm trying not to block anything, but I can't quite see. I'm sorry if I block any bits of the page. I really like it. With marker pens, I don't really like chisel tips. I prefer it if marker pens had brush tips and a nib. I don't like the chisel tips. They really don't work for any way that I would colour. I know I'm not big on markers. I'm not a huge user of markers, but when I do use markers, I like them to be brush tip if possible, and then a chisel, not a chisel, sorry, a nib tip, because I just don't understand what the chisel tip, I don't really see anyone use that too much, to be honest. And I do think, you know, the nib's nice for getting into little details, and the brush does all the big areas that the chisel tip would do as well. So yeah, in my opinion, that is nicer to use. But if any of you use markers, let me know what you think. Am I missing the point here? Does the chisel tip do something good that I'm not thinking about? Does it have some exciting uses? I'm just going to turn this book around. Hopefully you can still see and it's not very annoying for you. It's I just can't get to this bit without really covering up the whole page, and I don't want to do that. I'm trying to be mindful of not covering up the page. There we go. That's most of her hair done. Well, her plaits. There's plenty of hair left to do, isn't there? So, oh, I really love this colour. I just want to add a little bit there if I can, just to bring that colour back down. Yeah, like that. These are very juicy markers. Got a lot of colour in them. The ink's coming out freely. There we go. I love the colour though. I can see myself actually using this pen again because this colour is gorgeous. Eek, that's her skin. That's her skin, and I've just coloured it in blue. Should I just colour it in blue and it was like a fringe? Yeah, let's just go for it. Let's forget that that was meant to be skin. Hopefully I'm not going to leave this too patchy because I don't really know what I'm doing with the markers, to be honest. It's been so cold here. I live in the north of England and at the moment it is absolutely freezing, and I live by the coast, so it's been super windy, super cold, and I'm such a wimp when it comes to the cold. I know like some people that I subscribe to. They live in very cold places, and me complaining about, you know, English cold is probably laughable to some people, but it's been absolutely freezing, and I have been struggling with the cold because I really dislike being cold so much. Yeah, this hairstyle is fabulous, isn't it? Like, imagine having this hairstyle. I mean, it'd be a lot of drama. There's a lot of drama with this hairstyle, a lot of work. I love these like books where the artist has so much fun with things like the hair. Like a lot of books, you have just like flowing, beautiful locks, which is lovely. But I love it when people really play around with hair and have a bit more fun. I really love that. I'm going to colour that bit in because I coloured it in as the hair before. There we go. I mean, this is so easy colouring markers. Maybe I should colour in markers more often. It's so relaxing. But yeah, so I'm loving this colour. I'm loving this colour a lot. Sorry for turning the page. Just makes it easier for me to get to this bit here. I don't want to smear marker anywhere in case it hasn't dried and that. So now, because these are alcohol markers, I should be able to layer them up to get darker parts, shouldn't I? Me acting like I know what I'm doing with markers. I don't know what I'm doing at all. But yeah, that is darkening up actually, isn't it? I need this bit to be a bit darker too. They've got that like marker smell, by the way, just in case anyone wants to know, because some people like to look for markers that don't have much of a smell, but I don't think this smell from these is super strong. It's not like getting to my head or anything. Sometimes with alcohol markers, the scent is really strong and, you know, it makes you feel a bit dizzy or whatever, doesn't it? Like, you need to be in a well-ventilated room to use them. So I think I've got all of her hair. I think maybe, is that an ear or hair? Ear, hair. That's hair. All right, so there we go. Now I'm just going to quickly grab the pen that I lost at the moment. There we go, got it. Right, next, I think I will line the bit that I coloured over. There we go. It's like it was always meant to be there. Now her skin is going to be the pencil, so shall we go green for the eyes? Beautiful. Let's see how this green works. Oh, look at that green. That is beautiful. Don't these colours just look so good together? They are lovely colours. So well chosen. I love the teal. That teal and like blue colour is just gorgeous. Oh, look at her. She's so pretty. Sorry to be like gushing over her, but I just love this art style. I think it's beautiful. So shall I do her lips in? I think I might just draw the lips to come here because I might colour her lips in, and I'd like to have a border. So should we go grey? No, not yet, but let's do her jewellery in this grey because we don't have much choice really. So I think grey would be the best choice for her jewellery. Yeah. This is a beautiful image, isn't it? Something about this is I really enjoy a what's the word, when you have less colours. Oh god, my mind has gone blank. A thingy palette, oh, it's just out of my mind. Where you would have a small amount of numbers like this, colours, sorry, like this, like 3 colours, that's what I'm talking about, but I can't think of the word. I probably will after, and I'll be like, that's it, limited colour palette. I love a limited colour palette. It's really up my street. I really like how these colours are working together. The headdress is probably going to be grey, maybe with a little bit of green in there, I think. Horns. What should we do her horns like? I think the horns should be grey. Grey. I think the horns should be grey, and I think we should double darken up this bit of the grey here so that it has a little bit of shade. This is quite fun to do because it's so relaxing using these markers. Like, I always shy away from markers because I don't really know what I'm doing. But this has been so relaxing using the markers. I hope I'm not covering up too much of what I'm doing there for you. But yeah, these are lovely to use. Coming back to Scrawlr box, I have had lots of Scrawlr boxes by now. I think it's been about 3 years that I've been a Scrawlr box subscriber, and I have had some super good quality materials come from supplies come from Scrawlr box. I've had oil paints. I've never used oil paints before, so that was interesting. I've had plenty of watercolor sets and full palettes as well. I actually recently got the Graphitin palette, and some of us have the Graphitin pencils, don't we? I've had light fast pencils from them, Graphitin pencils. I've had, I think they were chameleon pencils, where one half of them was one colour and the other half of the pencil was another colour. I believe I had those. I've had some different alcohol markers. I've had some Copics. There's been boxes I haven't liked so much, like the boxes with pastels in. I'm not a fan of pastels. I haven't managed to use them without making a mess yet, so far not a fan of pastels, but maybe one day they'll grow on me. So there's been a huge variety of, there's been marker pens and all sorts, and pencils and paints and loads of good things. There was even one that came and it was all different types of stationery, but you had to try and make artwork out of it, like highlighters, different coloured pens and stuff. Really fun. And there was the one that came and it had a full set of Scrawlr, not the Ergo Soft, but the Super Soft or something, I think they're called, something like that. But there's been a huge variety of art supplies come with Scrawlr box. I would definitely say it was worth the money. Now we're going green or grey with this beautiful woman's lips. Let's go grey. Grey, green, grey, grey. I'm already doing it. Already doing it before I even decided. I'm quite happy with how this picture's going, to be honest. There she is. And now I believe we need to just add a little bit of green. And I think I'm going to turn this so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm sorry if it's not very nice to see it the opposite way. But you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing otherwise. Right, to me this screams sort of peacock feather. So I'm going to go like green on these bits. And then probably bring the grey in again. There we go. I do love the colour palette they've brought together. That's a beautiful colour palette, and I can see myself finding pencils and doing this with pencils, because that teal and this muted green and grey together, that's a beautiful colour selection. I actually think this would be lovely for the Hannah Carzon books, you know, for one of her books with like the birds or something. This would be a lovely palette. I think I'm probably going to use this palette at some point. I do really like it. I really think it's beautiful. Now, what should we do with these colours? I don't want it to be too grey because we have the horns, but I think this bit could be grey. Let's see. Let's see. Hope you can see her on the camera. I'm unsure. I'm really enjoying what she looks like now. I'm thinking she looks really pretty. I think I'm going to go for grey for this, like it's jewels. Yeah, I'll go for grey there. And I think I might bring some teal in up here too. Maybe on the bit that looks a bit lacy. I don't want it to be too grey because the horns, maybe I should have coloured the horns a different colour. Maybe they should have been green or something, and then I could have brought the grey in a bit more. But yeah, that's hindsight, not never really helpful once you've actually laid down the colour. It's quite freeing to like colour a picture and I can't erase anything. I've mentioned before that I have a tendency to be a perfectionist, and the last thing I need is to be a perfectionist because I think it makes you very critical, and this is probably going to do me the world of good colouring in marker, because there's no room for perfectionism, is there? You know, what should we do with this? Should we do this bit or should we leave that stripy like it's a lacy bit? I'm going to turn it so you can see, and I'm really sorry if it's very annoying being like that because I actually want you to be able to see what I'm doing, and I'm a bit concerned that I'm putting my hand over everything, my arm. Beautiful. I think that works, doesn't it? Bring in the hair colour up here. I think I'm going to leave that bit that's stripy as like stripes, as if it's like lace. Yeah, I think I'll leave that bit like plain, like stripes. Now, for someone who's into perfection, this is being really helpful for me because I am not staying in the lines perfectly, which is a good lesson for me, is that can't always stay in the lines, can you? Shall I do grey here? I think I'll do this middle one like grey here. I think I'll go for that. It's going to be, it's so weird doing with markers when I'm so used to pencils. So how is everybody? Is everyone okay? I've been having a lovely time chatting into some of my subscribers and then just some of my lovely colouring friends that I've made here on YouTube and Instagram. Some of you are so kind and wonderful to talk to. I really enjoy chatting with my colouring friends. And I'd like to say thank you to anyone who has recently subscribed to my channel, because I'm like, at the moment when I'm filming this, I'm very close to 350 subscribers, which is crazy. That's crazy. I never thought I'd get to 100, let alone like 350. That's like, I'm surprised every time somebody subscribes. So thank you so much. You know, it means a lot to me. It really does. You're all wonderful. You really are. Yeah, so I'll go right up with this one because there's that dot that's like up here, and I want that to be... Oh, I wasn't going to go over that bit, but I've done it anyway. There we go. See, letting go a little. I'll do that bit there. I'll come over these ones because I've come over that one. What do we think? Do we think this is okay? I think it's beautiful. It's simple, which is different for me, you know? I'm just usually like shade everything beautifully, as beautiful as I can. I'm not saying I'm perfect because I'm not, no one is, but I take so much time shading things and, you know, doing 6 colour blends and crazy things like that, that this has been really fun to do, and it's been quite freeing. Nice, lovely grey. I love this grey. I'm loving that. I've said it already, but I really love this colour selection. It's a beautiful palette, and I think I'll definitely pull out from maybe from my Prismas because they're easy to find a colour match with. But I do think these shades would be in the Black Widows and the Arteza maybe as well, because they've got quite big sets. So I might see if I can actually find these colours in there and do a pencil colouring with them too. Right. Shall I do green up here in between? I mean, I haven't used the chisel tip at all because I don't enjoy using chisel tips at all. Does anybody enjoy using them on here who uses markers? Like, most illustrators that you find, they tend to use Copics, don't they? Like professional illustrators. Because I like to watch art YouTubers too. And they seem to like the brush marker tip more than the chisel tip. Most of them don't really use the chisel tip. So it always surprises me that markers still come with the chisel tip. As I said before, I like the brush and the nib. So I want to make sure to use every supply. So I know I've used the black pen a little bit, but I do want to use it a little bit more in the page somewhere. I don't want it to be like I've used it just to draw a line somewhere that I needed a line because I'd gone out of the hair. I hadn't figured that in properly. So I'm going to have to find a way of using the pen. I could do some cross hatching or something like that maybe. I could add some of my own line work in here. That could be quite fun to do. Yeah. What shall I do with that pen? Sometimes I'm talking to you and I'm like asking you, like I expect you to answer me. Must be drive you potty. Who loves that squeaky sound, squeaky marker sound? I like that sound. I'm that kind of person that likes the chalk on a blackboard noises and the squeaky plate noise when you clean plates and you rub your finger across the plate. I like those strange noises. I'm also the annoying person that clicks the pen. So yeah, I do like some noises people don't like. I really like that. It's simple. Usually I'd have shading in my things like my headdress, but I'm actually liking it. I wonder if I could just add a little bit of if I just layer up a little bit on these sides, whether that will work as a shade once it dries. You never know with alcohol markers if it just looks shaded because it's wet. You never know until it's dry, do you? I can see a little bit of the colour building up there. It does say that the colour builds up, so let's just go for it. Let's just see if we can get a little bit of something. Yeah. I think I'd really love that nib right now. That'd be quite fun to work with, see what that looks like. But chisel tip, so no nib for me. There we go. Am I missing something on this one? No, I'm not. That's lovely. I really like that. Maybe darken this bit up a little bit. It should stay that dark. You can see a little bit of variation, to be honest. So it is worth just adding that little. See if I can get a little bit of shade on her eye. She doesn't actually have pupils, so maybe try with the grey to get a bit of a darker bottom lip. Make it look like it's recessed slightly. And let's add a little bit to her jewellery here. See if we can get a little bit of shade going. You can see a little bit, and I wonder if it's going to dry with that shade mark on it. Oh, gone out the lines again. Let's try add it up here. That bit would be darker, wouldn't it? So I'm really loving what this looks like so far. Right. I think I'm at the point. Oh, there's a little bit of plaid not coloured in. I think I'm at the point. I wonder if that was really annoying you that you could see that I hadn't coloured that bit of plaid in. I think I'm at the point now where I need to use my pencil. This probably isn't dry enough for me to line just yet, so I'm wondering whether to give her some like eyebrows, but I like that she doesn't have them, to be honest. Right, I'm going to start like a wimp and do her neck first because that's out the way. So yeah, let's give her some shade under her neck because this is actually a nice pencil to shade with, to be honest. I do have that eraser should I need it to. And I could always, you know, smooth the pencil with my fingers maybe just to give it a bit of a... I think the pencil is going to save it from looking too flat because I don't know what I'm doing with the markers. So I think having the pencil and shading it with the graphite instead of, you know, expecting some like layering from the markers, because I'm not sure what I'm doing with them, to be honest. I'm not a marker person. I would like to learn to use markers a bit more, I think. But, you know, I'm a lot more at home with pencils and I am an absolute pencil fiend. I owned way too many pencils. Way too many pencils. Sorry, something just fell there. Just want to pick up what fell. So yeah, I might have to move the pad around, the colouring book around, just to get to the places I want to get to shade. And I think I might use my finger to blend out my pencil. It's something I haven't done since I was at school, use my finger. I went to college to do art and design, and one of my teacher's pet hates was people using their finger to blend out their pencil shading. So it always feels a bit naughty when I use my finger to do things like that, because it was so drummed into us that we should not do it. It was lazy. But yeah, he doesn't know. What he doesn't know won't hurt him. So there we go. Looking beautiful, isn't she? If I do say so myself, sounding very like full of myself. I'm just going to turn it round so I can get some shading on her chin here. This pencil is very soft and it's a bit darker than I expected it to be. So it's much darker under here than I wanted it to be. Try and give her some cheek. Beautiful cheeks. Oh, she suddenly looks so pouty now that I've added those in, doesn't she? She looks so pouty. She's got like that like pouty look. Look at her, so pouty. Let's get some shade under here. It's been so long since I've shaded with pencil. Feels so weird. There we go. Bring a bit of shade here. It's quite fun to have like the flatness of the marker and the texture of the pencil together. It's different. I think if I'm going to use markers, I'm going to need to use them in this way, you know, like add texture with a different medium. Like really make it playful. I'm not sure I like what I've done there, so I'm just going to finally use the pencil sharpener to see the pencil eraser to see what it's like. Not the best eraser. Should I go for it with my finger and see what happens? Should I? Do you know what? It's not a very... That looks a little bit softer, doesn't it? Oh yeah, I'm loving that. That's really softened it up enough for what I wanted. I don't want her to look beardy, and at the moment she's looking so beardy. I think I'm going to really intensify this cheekbone shadow. I want her to have those like gorgeous model cheeks, cheekbones. Let's give her that gorgeous look. I am loving this. I'm really pleased with it, you know. And I'm loving her skin being grey. I need to build up some colour here. I mean, well, grey. I need to build up some grey. I do want to bring in that these Zig Millennium 3. There we go. Bring that down a little bit. Let's use the finger again. That is kind of looking cool. The only thing I feel like I'm missing that I would like is a highlighter, a highlight on her eyes or something. I might add that afterwards. I might not though. I might be good. I'll be good and I'll just use the supplies that were given to me. I think a little highlight on her eyes would look beautiful. If I'd really thought forward, I could have faked the highlight by leaving a little bit of the eye naked. I'm really loving this. I really am, and I didn't think I would, and I really am. I really want to darken this up and really like give it some drama. There we go. Let's bring it round her nose. Should we give her a little bit of a nose because she's missing the nose, isn't she? So should we give her some, let's go here. That works for her, doesn't it? You know, quite high. I don't want to give her eyebrows. I like that she has no eyebrows. I think that's quite cool. It makes her look, I feel like that needs to come in. There we go. There we go. I think that works. Do you know what? This has felt quite like arty and fun, you know? And I really thought I'd be struggling because I don't use. Oh, look at this. I'm loving it. She is beautiful. This. I need to do something here because it doesn't look right, does it? Does that look better? Her nose looks a little bit sort of wooden, like doesn't look real at the moment. Let's see what I can do to I think this look is looking nice. I really like it. I'm really loving what it looks like. It's just suddenly got some life in it, even though it's just grey. Before she was looking very like dead with just her coloured hair and stuff. But now I feel like she's got like a little bit of life in her, which I really like. I really like what she's looking like, and I want to darken up here. I want to give her some drama around her eyes. There we go. I hope I'm not in screen and taking up the screen. There we go. Gorgeous. A little bit of shading on the eye to give it some 3-dimension. Yeah, I think she's looking beautiful, and I think I'm going to bring the fine liner in to do stuff on her face, but I just love how pouty she suddenly looks now that I've giving us some cheekbones, you know. I love Mr. Cart Mirror's artwork. It's so beautiful. Like, and I can't believe I'm actually finally colouring a picture in here. I've built this book up so much. Like, to be this, like, I can't colour in it. It's too beautiful. I do want to work on the face a little bit more, but I feel like I should come down to the body. So I'm going to add some shading in now. Otherwise, I'm just going to be focusing on the face. And I just want to be like, I want to be a little bit dark, like I have been on the face. I like the darkness I've achieved on the face. This is so different from anything else I've ever coloured in. I've never thought to get my graphite pencils out and do this, but you know what? This is great fun. I mean, I could just do, you could do a similar thing with your greys and things, couldn't you? Now, where's this arm going? It's going like here, but I can't. There's her. Yeah, it must go like that. There we go. Just couldn't work it out with all the hair there. But this could be really fun to do. You know, you could get your greys out from your pencils too, not just, you don't need to use your graphite pencils if you haven't got them. But you could just get your grey out and shade. Or any colour, you could go like any monochrome colour and just go for it. Just see what you can come up with. Because I'm really loving this, and I've said it more than once, which means I really am. And I just think it looks really good. I think she's looking really great. I don't know if it's just my imagination and me bigging myself up a bit, but I really do love it. I think it's looking good. There we go, bringing that colour down, bringing that colour right down. I think I might have to go over some of the black lines with my, there we go, bit of grey there, just bring it down a bit, here we go. Really want to work that one across. I don't want to shade loads there, so I can just bring the grey across a bit. It's going to give that look that I want. Yeah. I'm really loving this. She actually reminds me of someone, but I can't think who. You know, the face of somebody. She's got like a pouty face, like somebody like somebody famous, I think, or somebody off like a TV program. I mean, I don't watch many TV programs. It's probably somebody off RuPaul's Drag Race. Me and my daughter watch that like crazy. We watch it so much, and we even like repeatedly watch it. Once the season's over, we like watching we go back to the start and watch them all over again. We love it so much. We really do. I'm really loving this. I really do love it, and I think because that teal looks so good with grey, the pencil is really working. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? I mean, sorry for being like, oh, it's so beautiful. Do you know? Sorry for that. I hope this video hasn't been too long for you. I haven't really done anything like this before where I'm colouring in real time, not like a whole picture. So I apologise if it's a little long, but you know, it's nice to try something new. I've been thinking about doing this for a long time, like doing a colorist take on Scrawlr box, and I'm really loving this. I really am. You know, it's not perfect, but I'm loving it. I think it's working really well. Yeah, lovely. There we go. Just bring it down her body. Her body is here. I just don't want to shade too much here because her body is just sort of tapering off. I started being really like light with the pencil and I've just totally lost that thingy. I'm just like totally abandoning myself to like the process. Don't want to sound too like uppity, but yeah, the process of colouring this page. I'm really enjoying this. So yeah. Oh, what happened there with the pencil? It made a funny like oh, something is happening there with the pencil, and it happened there too. Weird. Well, that is just a call to darken up that area, isn't it? Let me see. This needs colour. Well, I say colour. It needs pencil. Has anyone decided to colour a page with pencil before? I've seen quite a few beautiful like monotone grey pictures recently with like a splash of colour, and I've really enjoyed seeing those. Really beautiful pictures. So has anyone ever like decided I'm going to colour with just some normal graphite pencils? And, like, go back to school and get my pencils. Because I'm really enjoying this. You know, it's a little bit messy. It's not perfect. But I think it's working. Could use a bit of like, what's it called? Like neatening up in places. Like I could really slow down and take this dead easy and get the look that I really want, but let's be really slow with it now, because before it left this like weird mark and I'd like here, and I don't want that to happen everywhere. Let's see if we can get this buffed out a little. What do we think? It's a bit crazy. I love it. I'm really loving it. I'm going to darken these parts right down. It'd be nice to like go over the black parts with the black micron pen and tidy up the black parts a little bit, because the graphite pencil is obviously going over them and taking some of the black marks away, because it's quite a heavy, it's leaving a heavy like have I gone too far with this pencil? Have I gone crazy? I've definitely gone crazy with the pencil. I'm enjoying it. Now I need to just soften this slightly because it's looking a bit crazy. Noses don't look like that with a big line. This bit looks a bit messy here. I feel like here there should be breasts. Yeah, let's feel like there should have been breasts there, and they're just missing. And then maybe a collar. Would a collarbone be up higher? It would be, wouldn't it? Collarbone would be maybe here. And then I feel like this should just be darkened up a little. There we go. Sorry if I've been a bit quiet. I've just been a bit, I was just thinking. I was just thinking. This looks, I don't know if this just looks messy. I've had a bit of fun colouring it, so that should count for something. Just sharpen my pencil. There we go. Yeah, I feel like this needs to be darkened just here. I'm sorry, I realised I just went really quiet. I was just, I'm sorry, I was just colouring and I got a little bit carried away thinking. So yeah, I think this bit needs darkening. I'm thinking it looks, probably gone too far with the shading maybe, I don't know. It doesn't matter. This was about having fun and being creative, and I think I've definitely ticked those boxes. I've definitely had fun with this page. I've definitely been creative with this page. I've used materials I don't usually use. I don't usually use alcohol markers. I've used a limited colour palette, which has been quite fun. I've always liked to use limited colour palettes. I always enjoy that. And I have definitely gone out of my comfort zone, because this is a book I have been putting as the best book in the entire world that couldn't ever be used. One of those books, you know, an intimidating book. It was one of my intimidation books. But I'm letting go of all that intimidation. I will not be intimidated by a colouring book this year. And if I am, I'm going to pick it up and colour in it anyway. What do we think? Do we think it's a mess? Do we think it's good? Do we think I should stop with the pencil? Do we think I've gone too far? I'm kind of liking it though. I am kind of liking it. Maybe afterwards I'll be like, what did I do? But right now, I'm loving her. It's different, and it's different for me. So that's quite fun anyway, you know, to do something different from what I usually do. It's nice to get out your comfort zone. And I've enjoyed doing something a bit arty. It's felt quite arty to do it this way, you know. bit I'm struggling with is this bit here. Don't know whether to erase a little bit and oh, I'm not going to be able to erase. It's just moving the paper. Oh dear. I don't think this paper and this eraser work well together. Right, let's see what I can do. Hopefully I haven't changed the texture of the paper too much because that would be awful. Right, so here's her collarbone. Here is her other collarbone. So that is in the right place for me, I believe. I like that. I'm going to just darken those up a little bit. So I believe her breasts would be, it's quite hard because of her hair and finding exactly where they should be. So let's do this. Let's give her, I think they're coming up quite high, but you know, she is a cartoon sort of character style girl. She's not real. This isn't realism. It is beautiful, but it's not realism, is it? So I don't have to strive for perfection. Right, so it is looking a bit messy, to be honest. I mean, I haven't been careful at all doing this picture, which is different for me, you know? I just want to lift it to see what I think. I've gone crazy with this picture. I have gone crazy. Yeah, I've had fun. This has been fun. I've really enjoyed it. I mean, it's probably a bit boring for you just watching me shade a pencil. So I'm going to get look at my finger. Look at it. I'm going to get this and I'm going to have a little bit of fun adding some, I think I need to add her lip in that I drew in before. I think I'd like her to have some like freckles, so let's go for that. Let's just go random. Be quite cool. Give her some freckles. Little freckles. She's so beautiful, isn't she? I want her to have quite a lot of freckles. Yeah. And then what else should we do with her? She needs this pen to do something. It can't just be. Should we draw her breasts in? I think it probably would have been easier on myself if I'd just drawn them in the first place, instead of trying to shade them in. She's quite buxom. Okay. Let's put a line for her cheekbone. Not her cheekbones, her fingers. I want to give her a beauty spot, I think. What else should I do with this pen? I don't want to just be lazy after so much mess everywhere from me. I'm going to have to erase all that. My dirty fingers. Look at them. I don't want to do too much and take it. I mean, I'm saying I don't want to take it too far. I've already gone crazy with the thingy pen, haven't I? Yeah. I'm not really sure what I can do with the black pen, but it seems like a little bit of a waste just doing that one, a couple of things with it. Let's add shade up here in the, let's use this to add like a sort of definition of shade. This is different. I hope it turns out all right in the end. Yeah, I like that. It's added a little bit of something. It's took it back. Now her face. Am I going to ruin it by adding more pencil? This eraser is not good for this paper. It really isn't. It doesn't work well with this paper. But I just don't like that bit there. I just think it's too dark. That's a little better. Shall I stop there? Did I go crazy? I think I did. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop there. I did have a lot of fun. I think I'm going to like erase the pencil around it. That's probably all I'm going to do with it. So I decided after the video was finished that I would darken up the pencil shading on her body and her face, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. There's going to be a picture on screen now of what it looked like, and I think it turned out really cool. I had a lot of fun colouring this picture. So thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed seeing me use the Scrawlr box. This is something I'm planning on possibly doing every month, if so. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you're all very well and happy colouring to all of you. Bye!